and welcome back to Drama Recap. It's Ronnie here to recap some of your favorite drama that goes on YouTube, on the internet, on TikTok, wherever. For today's video, we're going to be sticking to a YouTube one that we have covered before in Amberlynn Reid. So if you are not aware with Amber, she has started a new series on her channel called So Raw, which comes from this fantastic clip from an Amber video from, I want to say maybe late 2016, I think, or maybe 2015. I don't know, but this clip.
I just want to be a healthy person. Like, this video is so raw, you guys. Fuck me. Like, damn.
So I personally love that clip. I think it's one of my favorite clips of Amber. I have started quoting it a lot because of this new series. It's just been coming up a lot in a lot of the videos about her. Anyway, in this series, basically what Amber is trying to do is discuss more kind of hard-hitting topics. She's addressing a lot of questions. It's basically like a Q&A, but she's kind of framing it along the lines of like, I'm being completely open and honest with you guys, and I'm being so raw and so real, which is like one of her kind of older famous catchphrases. And as we discussed before, a couple of weeks ago, she did accuse Becky, her ex-girlfriend, of kind of she insinuated that Becky did not care about her illnesses, and Amberlynn did have cancer a couple of years ago. She had uterine cancer, and she basically it was saying that Becky didn't care about this, and if Becky had cared and been more concerned about Amber's health, then the cancer would have been caught sooner, or she actually would have gone to the proper appointments like an OBGYN and not have gotten or developed the cancer in the first place. Obviously, that is like heavy. Becky has continuously stated that she does not want Amber speaking about her, and so in her episode 2 of So Raw that was just posted a couple of days ago, Amber basically was like, I'm never going to be talking about Becky again, and proceeds to then talk about Becky for like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes of the video. Amber is saying is that she does not feel that it is fair that she cannot speak about Becky because her and Becky were in each other's lives for 5 years. And Amber, in this one part of the video, basically she's like, I was surrounded by Becky's family and by Becky's friends. We did, everything in Becky's life. And, you were not like a prisoner in this relationship, Amber. You could have left anytime. And I will say, and I'm going to go more into this in my Amber deep dive, that's going to be hopefully coming out. My goal is to have it out by Christmas, but, I've never been one that's good with deadlines or dates, so excuse me. But basically, I enjoy Amber. I think she's like she doesn't try to be funny. People criticize her about just like superficial topics, and there are a lot of reaction channels that I do watch about Amber that I think just you need to let something go. Perfect one is just like turns of phrases or like the way that Amber says something. Like in this episode of So Raw, she is talking at a different part in the video about how in high school she was nominated for like most friendliest or like most outgoing, something like that, and obviously it was probably like a senior superlative, and there probably was like 2, maybe 3 people nominated, and Amber says like, oh, I was runner-up, unfortunately. And one particular reaction channel who I do actually really like, Zachary Michael, he's pretty famous, pretty big, in the community. He basically was like, no one says that. Like, why would you say this? Like, you're runner-up in, like, the most friendliest pageant or whatever. And, like, he spent, like, a good minute of the video talking about that. And, like, that's just little things like that. Like, there are so many other aspects about Amber, like how she lies or how she constantly is trashing Becky that you could be pointing out. I don't think we need to be spending a video minute talking about how she just said a phrase weird. Like, we all know that Amberlynn is like not the most grammar person out there, and neither am I. Like, I'm a big reader, and like I think I have pretty good grammar, but like I'm not perfect, and that's another like kind of criticism of Amber. Anyway, that was a complete side tangent. In this video, she's talking about how she felt like she was kind of trapped, I guess, in Becky's life for those 5 years. But as I said, like, she was not a prisoner in that relationship. She could have left any time. And she says that she feels like she's silenced because she is not allowed to talk about Becky. And people are like, why do you talk about Becky when she doesn't want to be talked about? Blah, blah, blah. Amber, you're not being silenced. You have a YouTube channel that has over 200,000 subscribers, and you can say whatever you want. But she goes on to say that she feels like people are being mean to her because they're like, why would we want to hear your advice? Why would we want to hear your takes? She says something specifically about giving takes on politics, and she's like, I'm not completely, like, stupid. I do have opinions and voice those opinions. And she says, I think this is one of the going to be the death nails to her channel. That if you don't like what Amber is putting out or what Amber is saying, then you can click off the video and go somewhere else. And you never want to tell people to just click away from the video, to unsubscribe, and to not watch you. I think what Amber struggles with is when people don't like her, which people have not been on Amber's side for a long time. I mean, really, probably since the start of her channel in like 2014. I feel like she has had a lot of just like negativity, and I think she has brought some of that on herself with some of her past actions. For Amber personally, she just should be focusing on building up kind of an established audience and actually being open and honest. But I will say, I think if Amber was more open and honest, or raw, as she might say, I do think she still would get criticism. I personally think that Amber is kind of too far gone at this point, and so she just needs to lean into it, and she just needs to, as harsh and as sad as this is, she just needs to accept that she's going to get hate and deal with it and move on and really not address it. I feel like if she didn't address it, she constantly says like, oh, I'm going to be stopping addressing this. This is the last time I'm talking about this. Like, when is there ever a topic in her channel that she has stopped talking about when it has not been kind of like beneficial to her? So I just think she needs to just let it be, unfortunately and sadly. I think continuing this So Raw series will be good for her. And I think she just needs to let it happen. That's the thing with Amber. She always kind of tries to do so many different things on her channel, and she's always like, this is going to be a new series. Like, she's pivoted on her channel a lot of times, and like, that's definitely smart. But the pivots have always been in response to negativity or to hate, rather than, like, I feel like this is the best way for me to move forward because this is what I'm passionate about content. A big criticism of Amber is that she's not passionate about any of her content that she makes, and that she's not passionate about YouTube anymore. And I definitely feel that sometimes. So I think, unfortunately, as I've said now, this will be my third time, she just has to let it go. I do think she should stop talking about Becky. Becky just, I think, wants to move on. I don't necessarily know if that is the truth or not, but I think from what I've seen from her community posts, and from screenshots of things, I think Becky just wants to move on. So that's kind of your update on the Amberverse as of right now. As I said, I am obsessed with Amberlynn Reid. There's something about her like that is fascinating to watch. That's everything that's going on. Let me know if you have watched or know anything about Amberlynn Reid, and until we have another drama to recap next time, bye.